Waiting. Yeah.
Welcome live
Where's Nick's song?
show.
Don't have one.
This is the RCAD show. You wanted Nick's song, but it's not here. That's what, church bells? What is it?
I don't know who's doing that. I guess Chris.
It's my beer.
Oh.
Sleigh bells ring.
You drinking a French beer? What's wrong with you?
Drinking a French beer.
Jack's drinking beer. What you listening?
What are you drinking?
1664.
First had it in Switzerland.
No.
Interesting.
Anyway, they had it at Wegmans.
Oh, okay.
Jack, you are swinging
my Johnny-
the nuts of Wegmans. You love that place.
I gotta tell you, I was there today.
Surprised we're not sponsored by them.
Yeah.
Gotta work on our account. Yeah, you guys don't like my Johnny Ringo versus Mando?
Well, we know who won.
We move out of the way so we can see the full thing. There we go.
There's reverses there. Okay,
Yeah,
I thought you were just putting up two images.
Yeah, it more looked like you were like the part of the Three Amigos there. You're like Johnny Ringo, Mando, and me.
Jack and Mando.
Who would I be? I guess I'd be Martin Short, right?
Ted Niederlander?
Look up here. Look up here.
Is it Ned Niederlander or Ted Niederlander? I can't remember.
Niederlander.
Niederlander. Yeah. I thought it was a great episode of
did you enjoy it?
I did.
It was awesome.
We were all really, really excited. We grilled up on the Owen and Brews.
Nice.
Someday you'll have to come by, see the new place. It's renovated.
I made my 15th appearance on Owen and Brews Barbecue this episode.
Really?
After all
Which,
these
the
years.
record is still significantly more than Jay.
He's technically a guest star now. He's not even like a host anymore. You have to break you have to break the 20 mark, then I'll be a host.
Yeah, I always feel like it's,
That's fair.
There's
El
also
Guapo.
that
I gotta be El Guapo.
El Guapo. The infamous, which is he's so famous, he's infamous.
That's a plethora of piñatas.
Sherry says, why are we starting on time? We didn't.
We were actually late. We were waiting for Johnny Ringo over there to show up. So I think he was working.
Well, it's funny. I'm watching the Mandalorian. I go, who is that guy? And I go, holy shit, that's Johnny
Michael Biehn. How do you not know Michael Biehn?
Well, because he's aged.
Oh yeah, we all do.
He doesn't look like this guy right here.
Kyle Reese.
I think I mentioned it to you guys before. He wanted to be an Avatar, but James Cameron didn't put him in the first one because Sigourney Weaver is in it, and he's like, "Well, you two have already been stars in another movie together, so I don't want to do that." He goes, "But I'll put you in another Avatar," and so because he's been in just about every single James Cameron film.
Oh, because God knows you can't have two actors that have starred in a movie before.
Well, it's James Cameron, but
James Cameron, fuck him.
In this same article,
it's like how Richard Dreyfuss is like, Steven Spielberg owns him. Like he could just call him up anytime. He's like, I want to do a movie with you. I love you. It's like how Tim Burton is with
his wife.
His wife. No, I was thinking of the other guy, the other famous person that is escaping my name. I can't believe I can't. Johnny Depp. Yeah.
Oh, Johnny Depp.
Yeah, he's always in Tim
Did
Burton
I not
movies.
just say that 6 times?
Did you?
I think you're on mute because I didn't hear you say anything.
I didn't hear you say anything. Yeah.
Sorry, Johnny Depp.
Sherry, you're never gonna find Nick serenading us tonight because he didn't.
Randy with a low blow.
So it was his best one yet.
It was the best one yet.
Wow.
Yeah, but in the article, I thought it was interesting because you don't think about it. But they were asking him about like money, and how rich, not really how rich he was, but Michael Biehn, and he said that he's not. He said because if you look at, even though he's been in tons of famous films, he always played like a minor role, or it was like a director's first film or things like that, where he always would accept lower amounts, and he didn't get the percentages like the lead would. So he would just get like the base.
Fucking who?
I'm not saying I feel sorry for him. I'm just saying that he's not like a lot of the 80s stars that got rich,
Fair enough.
Well, he's probably living comfortably.
Yeah, I mean, most actors.
Now, spoiler alert. Now, what did we learn from this episode? That only the Mandalorian and Doc Holliday are faster than Johnny Ringo.
He's pretty fast, dude.
Thought we learned that I picked the wrong day to stop sniffing glue.
Yeah, I'll be your Huckleberry. That's what Mando should have said. I'll be your Huckleberry.
I felt like it was already like just kind of like pushing that Western, like it's already turned up to 10. We don't.
I thought it was a West. This show's not like a Western anyway.
Yeah, but it had the Western samurai in this last one.
But I think that would have been a funny line. I think was it Jon Favreau? I almost tweeted him, said, "Hey, where was I'll be your Huckleberry, dumbass?"
Well, you'd be wrong because Dave Filoni wrote and directed this episode.
Oh, okay. Then I'm glad I didn't say that. I would have had egg on my face.
Totally
throwing you on the.
You would have had Star
Wars. Oh God.
Me, yes, I would have. Sir, you're so wrong. It was Dave Filoni.
Yeah, you should have seen it last night, Jack. I accidentally said meerkat instead of lothcat, and like all three of them at the same time.
And technically, it wasn't a lothcat either.
Oh, really?
All three of
Lothcats are native to Lothal.
Right.
Lothcat is a breed of a different type of cat of the Star Wars universe. I don't know the name of it.
So do you know what type of cat that one was? Then?
I do. Hang on.
Oh, okay.
I did.
I was worried. I was really.
I know you were.
So what we're talking about, Jack, is like in like one split hair of a scene in the town. You see this cat go like you, and it's like
I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And yep, best part of the whole movie or episode.
I kind of wondered where it was though, because that had to be a legit like Japanese temple.
They are tukas.
Tukas, that's right.
Tuka.
And
like a tuka.
The tukas on Lothal are known as Lothcats.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right. Because I remember reading the Dr. Africa.
I'm the guest host on.
And guest starring Matt. Just comes in to warm up the grill.
It was a good episode of the old Owen Barus last night, though, I gotta say. So make sure you refresh your feeds and download it.
Wasn't a beat for beat. Jumping in, and I'm still sticking by my theory. I was swinging for the fences, Jack, with some of my crackpot theories, but
really,
I'm still sticking with my Ahsoka is using Grogu for a reason. So,
I liked that one. Yeah, I liked that one. That was a good one.
So there's a little bit more.
And I was really pleasantly surprised because like the 2 weeks prior when Chris was on it again, and I said like I could see Thrawn being introduced. Also, it's like, damn, that came way sooner than I thought it was going to be.
Right, dude.
Mm-hmm.
So I was saying before, and I said this on Owen and Bruce, like we'll give our quick little recap. Right, I think we all loved the episode, right? And we all were talking about how amazing Rosario Dawson was as Ahsoka. Like from
I didn't know that who it was, so I had to look it up.
Yeah, it was incredible. So I mean, if you go from like makeup, amazing, but like even her portrayal of Ahsoka was incredible. Like I felt like I was watching the Clone Wars with her in it. It was just incredibly well done. And then she drops that bomb on us at the end and refers to Grand Admiral Thrawn. And I was like, oh, like what? Like,
and for I think for those that are like not into Star Wars, and maybe just casually watching it, this is just like the Lostian aspect of Star Wars coming out. Mm-hmm. So like we all came to Lost. We love Lost and we love Star Wars, but this is where like those two things are starting to mix over. I mean, hell, we even had a doctor like hologram like telling us like secret information like in an episode like that. That's like straight up Lost. So I like I like how they're threading things. Still easy and accessible for anybody to just pick it up and watch it. So if you're thinking like, oh, I'm not going to get these things, or I'm not going to get all the references, you don't have to. So
Cliff actually, producer Cliff for the old fans, actually called me a few days ago. It was like, "Hey,
I thought it was.
Is he director now? You always called him producer Cliff, or did you call him director Cliff? Either one.
Did I call him producer?
I thought you did. Maybe not.
No.
But anyway, so director Cliff, I'll go with Jack's term. He called me. He's like, I'm thinking about starting the Mandalorian. He goes, but I'm hearing all these things about these cartoon characters. I was like, do I need to watch those? I was like, well,
yes.
yeah. I was like, yes, you do need to watch them. But if you want to start with the Mandalorian, you can do that too. He's like, okay.
But here's the thing, though, for those who are listening who haven't yet watched the Mandalorian. First of all, whoa, good for you. I mean, that takes a lot. But if you have the ability to do so, I highly recommend watching the Clone Wars first and then watching Mandalorian.
I'm enjoying it without watching the Clone Wars. So.
Yeah. And Jack's right on some things from time to time. Like, if you jump into watching Parks and Rec, just skip the first season and go to the second season. Every now and then, lightning strikes you.
I mean, do you really think you should? Like I said, I've only watched a few episodes just when I catch them on. Like, if I wanted to actually binge it, would you be okay with just starting at season 2? I mean, you don't need to have any kind of introduction to the characters or anything.
Parks and Rec, no, because Parks and it literally it's
really,
probably the worst season of television in the history of television.
I wouldn't say that.
Wow.
I wouldn't say that.
For a show that ended up being successful.
There are a couple episodes towards the end of season 1 that I really think they start to hit their stride, but you can
it's terrible.
Would you let me finish? Would you let me finish? This guy.
You mean can I finish? Can I finish?
That's what it is.
Go ahead, wanker. Wanker.
Have you been watching Ted Lasso?
Ted Lasso, yes.
Okay, I was like
I had to stop watching it to hang out with you wankers.
What episode are you on then?
Just finished episode 6. Cindy and I started last night.
Oh my gosh.
Good. So
she was like, I don't want to watch it. I don't like sports things. I go, I don't think it's really based on sports. I go, that's the premise. I mean, but it's not
the backdrop. Yeah.
Backdrop, yeah. And she goes, all right, I'll try it. Then after that, she want to watch the next one? Want to watch the next one? Want to watch the next one?
She loves it.
It's funny. Like, what I like about the British cuss words or what you call people, it's like you can kind of get an idea. Yeah, well, cunt's one thing. They're like, twat. Yeah. Twat. They say twat.
Twat.
It's much nicer than saying twat. But it's things like wanker and especially tosser. I had a guy one day when I was in Europe. He goes, "Oh yeah, I know that guy. He's a bit of a tosser." And you kind of know it's an insult, but you're like, I have no fucking idea what a tosser
What's
is.
that come from?
What the fuck is a tosser? Like what the? I mean, if you say the guy's an asshole, like, oh, I get it. But
yeah,
I don't get tosser. I'm like, what the fuck's a tosser?
The Brits.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? But I do like when he was drinking the water for the first time, the bottled water. It's spritzer. It's it's the seltzer water. Because I did the same thing when I was in Switzerland.
Oh, it's so bubbly.
The water with gas.
I drank it. I went, oh my god, this stuff is terrible. And they go, oh, it has bubbles. And I go, why?
Yeah.
But anyway,
it's healthy for you.
Do you agree? And this isn't a show that like you missed the first episode of Ted Lasso, you just watch it. But I would just say that like the first episode, if you're going into it expecting a comedy, it's not like one of those like laugh out loud. Like it's got some funny moments, but it's more of kind of like a okay, and then like as the show progresses.
It's a comedy. I think you guys have been calling it, Chris said, a comedy feel good type show. I mean, it's a comedy, but it's not like, oh my god, it's funny. It's funnier than season 1 of Parks and Rec.
It's a feel-good comedy, but it's not like a feel-good, like wimpy feel-good. Like, it's
like to compare it to another TV show that like likes to have a feel-good moment every week, but just falls flat, like flatter than water.
This show?
No, I'm just talking about Goldbergs. Like when you tune into Goldbergs, it's just like
that show still on?
Yeah, it's just still the same canned kind of like thing, and it's just like you go like
they hate each other. They hate each other last minute.
Play an 80s song, and then they're all good, and everything's happy. No. That's not what this show is. It'll call you a wanka to your face. So, but still, like leave you kind of like wanting more and making you feel good. So.
Yeah.
Anyway,
if you haven't seen it, I finally got around to watching it. It is excellent.
Yeah. It's probably my favorite show of this year.
Whenever Nick gets around to it.
Yeah. So I'm gonna watch. I'm gonna finish up Mr. Robot, and then I'm gonna watch the BBC version of Utopia. And then while at my sister's, because she has Apple TV, I will knock out Ted Lasso.
There you go. Yeah, and you can do it in sitting, man. It's that good.
Yeah, it's only 30 minutes long.
Episodes. Yeah.
I almost binged it in one night. So it was a late night, and I had to cut myself short because I was just like, no, I want to save.
You're wanking it.
Yeah, I wanted to save my wanking, and tossing the loads. So
save your gravy.
Yeah, I mean, no Nut November, but it's December now. Congratulations to all who participated, and I'm sorry.
What?
For
No Nut November.
Oh.
Yeah.
Same
as like No Shave November.
I didn't know that there was such a thing. So
yeah, I don't know who made up that rule. They were really stupid when they did it.
Yeah, dumb. It's unhealthy, damn it.
You know what we should do though? It's totally healthy.
It's a little early.
That's what she said.
Yeah, that's what happens when you go a whole month.
We just put in a commercial break right there. Just squeeze it in. Nailed it.
That's what she said. Oh,
so what else are you guys watching besides the Mandalorian and?
I watched the HBO documentary of DB Cooper. You guys
fun.
DB Cooper?
Yeah.
I really
Skyjacker.
The Skyjacker. It was interesting.
It's one of my
a lot of stuff I didn't know about. The whole time I'm watching it, though, because they show him he's on the plane, he's smoking the whole time. I go, why don't they just get the DNA from the cigarettes to figure this out? Oh, someone from the FBI lost him.
Whoa.
So I'm like going,
hold on. But do you mean like do the analysis now? Because DNA analysis was not.
It'd still be DNA on there.
DNA lasts a long time, dude.
Yeah, it'd still be on there.
What I'm saying is, do you think they kept the cigarette butts from the investigation?
No, they don't know where they're at. They have no idea what happened to them.
It can break down though, like
because
DNA,
you know what?
like,
some wanker went. What are we keeping these cigarettes around for? We don't need them. There was probably no fingerprints on them, so they just tossed them.
Yeah.
And now we could actually have the fucking answer, but they tossed the damn cigarettes. But it was they center on 4 suspects, and the people that believe they're one was she believes her uncle was DB Cooper because her uncle's name was TB Cooper or something like that. So she's 100% believes that, and everyone they talk to, they believe 100% that person is DB Cooper. But does
she also believe that the song TB Sheets is about her uncle too?
Nobody knows that song but you and I.
Okay, sorry. I'm swinging for some deep stuff there.
If you have any knowledge at all about DB Cooper, it's pretty interesting, but it does leave you with no answer at the end. It's like,
yeah,
what? But anyway, DB Cooper.
I've been. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead. I would recommend it.
So I've been watching. You talked about this on last night's Owen and Bruce. One night it was I couldn't sleep, maybe because I had consumed a little too much of
wanking.
No, I wasn't wanking. I mean, maybe I did. I probably did, but like that's not why I was up.
I want to wake you, honey.
That puts you right to bed. I mean, no, but I was up on. I think it was. I had the next day off, and I was definitely under the influence of some external, substances. No, I wasn't hallucinating, but I started watching Designated Survivor.
Oh yeah,
which I believe is old now. A couple of years at least.
Oh, it's at least 5 years old.
Is it 5 years old? So I've never watched it before. It popped
Survivor?
up. I'm like,
yeah, I don't think it's that old.
Kiefer Sutherland?
I don't think it was on when I was in LA, and I moved to LA in 2016. I think it either came out in 2015 or 2016. It's roughly
maybe it did. I watched most of the first season.
Yeah, and then it got canceled.
So I'm on the first season now. It got canceled.
Yeah.
Oh well. But I started watching it, dude. It was one of those things where I got sucked into it. I'm really sucked into. I'm like addicted to it. It's weird.
You must have been really high.
Yeah,
you know who else got sucked into it? All the members of Congress.
Yeah.
Except one.
Except one.
Yeah. So okay, let's just stop talking. I haven't finished first season, but it's funny. It's comical because I've started like noticing how on every episode there's no less than 5 instances of Mr. President, we have a problem. Mr. President, there's an issue. Mr. President, something's wrong. Mr. President, this, and it's just like a never-ending barrage of like shitstorms, which probably is what makes it entertaining and fun to watch. But
well, let's see. Someone blew up the Capitol.
Yeah,
and so there'd be a lot of problems, I would think.
Yeah, it's fun, and you can't help but think of like Jack Bauer.
Right. That's what you want. You wanted to be Jack Bauer. And
yeah,
he's not.
But he's just
yelling at people. Yeah, exactly. Why'd you do it? Why'd you blow up the Capitol?
And, like, not Jack Bauer. I got to keep reminding myself of that. But no, I've been really into it. I've just been watching it, and it's so far it's fun. It's one of those guilty pleasure shows. It's not great.
Yeah, I gave up on it and was never looked back. It's like okay.
I've got a crush on Maggie Q.
Oh, hello. God. Yeah, she's always been smoking hot.
Yeah, never knew about her until this show. Well, I probably did, but I probably didn't know who she was. And now that I've like
Yeah, she was the star of Nikita. That was on like I think CW or something.
Oh
yeah. Like the first 2 or 3 seasons are really good, and then it kind of but it was good.
Nice.
And then she was also.
But anyways, that's what I've been watching, and then I need to get back into watching Rebels. Through the barrage of criticism I received and guilt tripping I received last night.
That's what we do.
I got to get back into watching Rebels. So that's my next thing.
It's kind of like I know Sherry's listening, and she usually puts up the link for it on the Facebook page, which you guys aren't on. But I'm that way with His Dark Materials, which is on HBO. Like I watched like half the first season and then gave up on it, but it's still recording on my DVR. So I'm like, should I watch this? Like, because like I don't know, maybe she'll respond here in the chat. I don't know, but it seemed a little unbelievable. You know, like I was really thought it would be interesting. It's kind of like, the stories were too stretched out. Each episode was kind of like, get on with it. You know, like we get it. Like this girl's got something special, and these people are evil. Like something happened. But, I don't know if you guys. I guess you guys never watched it, but it's on HBO.
I did watch the first season of it. And I was giving it a fair shake. So, but perhaps it was just kind of how I was watching it. So sometimes, like how you watch a show, can kind of determine if you get sucked into it or not.
True.
And if I'm just casually watching like something in the background, which is weird. It's like I have to have almost like shows that I have on that are more like, oh, I know this, and I can get work done on the computer. But like when I'm watching my Japanese reality TV show Terrace House, it's like I gotta give it my whole attention because I gotta read everything that's said. I got into some really weird reality TV kind of like zone where all of a sudden like people were just like turning nasty, and I was like, oh man, like I hate this part of like the reality TV show when people like the true colors come out and like all of a sudden it's like certain people are like total snakes and you're like, oh
it's
man,
like
I hate
reality
that. Yeah, exactly. It's like reality, it's like real life. So it was kind of weird because I'm not usually one to watch reality TV, so when I'm watching something and it has those twists or those
but you're learning something though.
Yeah, no, totally. And there's like certain phrases that I like, I hear again and again. It kind of gets drilled into my brain. So, as well as listening to just
stop, Chris.
You cannot yawn. It's too.
Chris did it first.
I did not yawn. There's
you did.
There's no evidence of me yawning.
I'm sure Sherry can get a screen cap of it.
Like I think I've talked about it. The only reality TV I watch other than Survivor is Alone, which I really like. It's just on Discovery Channel. It comes on once a year. It's like around June, and it's where they get 10 to 12 like survival people from different parts of the United States mostly. They get some Canadians and some other folks from time to time in other countries, and they just drop them off in the middle of nowhere with 10 items. And it's like last one standing gets $1 million. And it's a true survivor show. But what's interesting about it is that you know, like if you're from Massachusetts and all you've ever known is that environment, you know how to survive in that environment. But if they drop you off in northern, if they drop you off in northern Canada or like down in Patagonia or in the middle of the desert, like sometimes you're just shit out of luck, you know, and you're like, I don't know how to survive in this. And that's what makes the show interesting, is because they're from all different specialities. And so you see how they adapt.
Are they filming each contestant?
They film themselves. So
they
are dropped off at a certain location.
So they're really alone.
They're really alone. And there's a box there. It's full of camera gear, like GoPros and things like that. And they set it up wherever they're going. So if they're going to go fishing, they'll set up like the regular camera, and then they'll have the GoPro on them.
Seems like a lot of work.
Yeah. But it's really, actually, most of them was surprising, because I got my mom into it because she saw me watching it this summer. And she was like, man, I don't see how they can do it. I was like, oh, like these guys are professionals. Like this is usually like their job, like they're guides or something like that. What gets them is when the winter kicks in, or when the environment changes, and they've been already out there for 2-3 months. And the reason why most of them, some of them have lasted, I think 5. I think is right now is the max. But what usually gets them to quit, or what narrows them down, is either weight loss, extreme weight loss to the point where they're almost dying, or just sheer going nuts because they have not seen another living soul in 5 months.
Are they the same area, or are they 10 different locations?
No, they're in the roughly the same area, but they're like basically they're dropped off a spot, and it's like, oh, Jack, you get, you know, this 10 to 20 mile area, and that's just yours. And then like the next one over is where Chris will be, and the next one over will be where Matt will be. But you can never like pass the certain area.
Oh, really?
So it's like they're completely alone.
You couldn't go over there and sabotage someone else's.
That would probably be fun. They only tried to do it one time where they tried to do like a couples one, and it didn't work out. And it was because a lot of them quit in the first episode, because it was one of those things where it's like, me and my wife are going to go out and do this. But the thing is that they would drop you off at your actual camp location, and then your spouse would be at like the starting point, and then they would have to get to them. And so they're like whacking through like brush and all this stuff. And and then if one quits, then the other one has to quit. So it was like, fuck, honey, how far did you get? Like, you know, it's like, and so like you had like 4 or 5 couples like just drop in the first episode. They're like, yeah, we're done. But this version of the show, but it's good. Like I think they're in like their 6th or 7th season now.
So what does second place get?
Nothing, I don't think.
Wow,
it's not like Survivor where you get something. But I mean, I think the reason, like the first couple seasons, they're just regular people. But I think
knowing that you did a good job.
Well, that's what I think. A lot of these people now, because they're guides or they're survivalists and they do this for a living. Like, oh, how do you catch fish with nothing but blah blah blah. It's promotion for their own businesses back in their hometowns. So it's like it helps them regardless if they make it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I don't know. I still want some. I'd have to win the $1 million, because I'd be like so pissed if I went 5 months.
Oh,
you get second place. Fuck.
Well, what's really sad is when they get pulled for medical reasons. Because I mean, there was one guy who was just a hoarder. I mean, he had so much fish that he'd hung up, dried out, salted. Like he was ready to make it, but he was so scared of starving that he starved.
Wow.
And so when the medical people came to check up on him, he had lost so much weight. They were like, we've got to pull you for medical reasons, because
why didn't he eat the
he just
fish?
wasn't eating. He wasn't eating enough. And he was just like, I've got food. I can start eating. And they're like, no, like your heart rate is so erratic right now. We have to take you into the hospital. And he's like, and he just started crying. He's like, but I've got food. It's like you feel bad for him. Yeah, Survivor Man. Yeah, that was going too.
Yeah, but to me, it's like, I don't know why he wasn't eating. Do you not like fish?
Just people get.
So I just did a quick Wikipedia search on this show, and I'm looking at like the contestants that dropped out and the reasons why they dropped out. Some of them are crazy, dude. Like split a tendon with an axe.
Right. I don't even like.
Do they have that on film?
This is the best one though. Randy Champagne from Boulder, Utah, lasted 21 days, but had to tap out because he didn't like being alone.
Right. Yeah.
Well, sorry, Randy.
Yeah. Those are the funny ones, like, because that's the way it is. Is like they like 2 or 3 will drop out like that first episode, and you're like, what the hell, man? Did you fought to get on this show and you just quit?
And look at this genius from North Carolina. We've got
name Jack or Wanker
Brant McGee, 44 years old, from Albemarle, North Carolina. Lasted 6 days. Dropped out because he consumed too much salt water.
Oh, Wow.
He was drinking
Yeah,
salt
I
water.
remember that. I remember him throwing up. Yeah, that's right.
How do you do that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you drink salt water?
I think he was that ignorant where he didn't understand that you can't drink salt water. Because I remember him saying like, "Oh, there's some salt in it, but I'll be okay." And he was just, and then he started regurgitating it all because it
Oh my
dehydrates
God.
you.
Yeah, totally.
Dude,
I
this
mean, it's just like-
Wikipedia page is brutal.
Yeah.
So, okay, Mitch Mitchell, ironically, 34 years old, from Bellingham, Massachusetts, which is the next town over from me, lasted 43 days and backed out. The reason why on Wikipedia is, I'm not even making this up, quote, realized he should actually be around for his mother's cancer.
Shit. Yeah.
That's literally the reason the Wikipedia has.
Well, you know what? I'm glad that he came to that realization. But
This is from
man,
season 1. by
Was
the
it
way.
day 43? Like, yeah, I should go.
Well, I mean, that's what makes it not the cancer guy, but that's what makes it interesting is that you'll see some of them. They'll actually talk about shit that'll happen. They're like, you're like, oh, I built my shelter this way because any spark that'll happen could just ignite this fucking thing. And then the next episode, like they're doing something, and also it just, and they're like, oh fuck, I've got to quit now because like they have no shelter that they've spent.
I thought you were
building.
talking about like they started going into flashbacks like Lost. It's just like
No.
I really should like build this so a spark doesn't happen. And it's just like he starts talking to himself. He's like, yeah, just like when I was a kid and like my mom rescued me from the burning house that I was, like it's so dramatic. Like it's because you're alone. You'd think that you'd be, when you're alone with your thoughts, like weird things come to you. Like Yoda says to Luke. It's just like like you have
I always
visions
go
of the
back to
past.
Star Wars with you.
I know it is. It's like I relate everything.
Well, like I like the crazy ones though, Chris. Like I think it was like 2 seasons ago or 2-3 years ago, a guy had put his food up in a high tree so nothing could get to it, and he was trying to protect it, but something kept eating it, and he finally figured out it was a wolverine, and so he basically went in full crazy like, I gotta kill this thing, like mode. And you see him set this camera and this Wolverine, he's over, I'm gonna get you. Like, he's like, just
weren't the Wolverines Red Dawn?
They were.
Yeah.
Yeah. It wasn't
Michigan State.
Yeah.
Is that what you were going for?
No, I was trying to Lee Thompson.
Michigan State or Spartans. Michigan State Spartans.
Yeah, the Michigan, just straight up.
I might have to go back and watch this show, dude.
It's good. It's really good. It's really good. The first couple seasons, like they're just regular day people, but then as you keep going, it gets better and better.
Do the shelters have like 4 walls and a roof? Is it not like
it's up to them? It's up to them how they make it. They make their own. Like some have made log cabins, and some just make them out of leaves. I mean,
somebody made a pillow fort.
Somebody what? A pillow? Yeah, it's a pillow fort. Yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna make mine out of pillows, guys.
I bet you don't care.
But my thing is, like I said on Survivor, they're always free. I go, why don't you put 4 walls up? You're sitting around, you got nothing to do all day long. Put up 4 fucking walls.
Well, most people on Survivor aren't the sharpest knives in the shed either.
But it's been on for 40 episodes.
Like if I had nothing else to do, like if all the firewood's collected, I've got the boar meat, got some water that's salty, I'm good. I'm set. I want to make.
I think it's because in the show Survivor, they're always put in a warm environment, so they don't need the walls. And other than for the bugs,
what about wind?
That's true. But they are sometimes they get a tarp too. But
when it rain, I mean, it's just
true. I forget about the rain. But but they're so spoiled on Survivor. They feed them so much, for all when they win stuff. It's like, dude, like you never at any point are any in danger on the show Survivor.
Jack's just over there being Bubba Gump. So you got sideways rain,
rain, upways, sideways,
and sometimes it seemed to come up from underneath.
We got text from California. Yeah, that won an Academy Award, right?
Yeah, won Best Picture. Yeah. This is the same debate that Matt and I think Chris as well have had many times.
We brought it up.
Yeah, a few times
for sure.
Because Matt is full into Pulp Fiction winning that one.
I don't know. I mean, at the time, I was definitely probably more in the Forrest Gump camp. But as I've gotten older, I'm kind of more like, I mean, I liked Pulp Fiction when it came out. Don't get me wrong. I saw it like I don't know how many times in the theater, but I
think probably at the time I probably would have said Forrest Gump as well because it's more accessible to the broader audience. But
Yes.
I'd say Forrest Gump now.
no,
Yeah,
it's good. But
I like it. I like it.
I like it.
To quote
That's
Samuel
a tough
Jackson,
one.
I'm trying, Ringo. I'm trying real hard. Because you got Ringo right above your head.
A Royale with cheese.
That's right. And it actually is called that. I went into a McDonald's in France just to confirm that that's what it's called.
Nice.
Huh. Okay.
Did you order it?
I did not. I don't think I've had. I might have had McDonald's once in Europe. I know I've had Burger King once.
Sorry, Matt.
For real.
Matt in the chat. Ooh, hey, Matt in the chat.
Matt in the chat.
So
Matt's
if
everywhere.
you become a Patreon, you can get Matt in the chat as your nickname. Toot sweet. I didn't even read what he said. Sorry, I laughed too hard. So Matt said,
Oh, sorry. I have to pop it back up.
Forrest Gump is definitely a boomer stroke fest. True word, not spoken.
Wanka.
But yeah, you know.
All right. Any other shows?
Moving on.
Moving on.
Moving on up. Moving on up to the side.
Yeah.
What did you guys? How was your guys' Thanksgiving? Did y'all get fatter?
You know, it did.
I did.
It was low key, man. You know, we did. It was my wife and kids, and we got a turkey breast, a frozen turkey breast, and roasted that as opposed to a whole bird, and it was adequate. Made the sides. It was nice. I will say that it was the most relaxing Thanksgiving I've ever had.
Because you probably had some edibles before the turkey, so
No,
you had a double dose
turkey.
of relaxing. Oh.
Yeah, the edibles were in the turkey.
In the turkey, yeah, you stuffed it.
I actually think that was the night I started watching Designated Survivor. I started watching Designated Survivor on Thanksgiving night.
Oh,
yeah.
It gives you something to be thankful for too. You know.
Yes.
Speaking of turkey,
you could watch crap on TV.
Speaking of turkey,
what was that fucking like eye roll there? You know, like.
Speaking of turkey, I turned the news on when I got up this morning to see a story come across where a guy had his driver's side rear tire stolen off of his car as he got out, but instead of what normal people do when they steal a tire and a wheel, they usually put a brick under it there. Someone had stuck a 12-pound frozen turkey underneath, and that's what it was sitting on. And I was just like,
so he wasn't a total loss for him. At least he got
not a
some
total.
turkey.
Yeah, exactly.
That's my kind of thief. The one that just fucks with you. Like, that's fantastic. Happy holidays. Thanks for the tire.
Maybe he was a boomer because another boomer term was jive turkey. So maybe that was jive, because you if you called someone jive turkey, it was all out war.
Hey, Dig, mommy coming to the bone, man.
I did watch something. I completely forgot.
Who the hell is mac and cheese?
We got a spammer, I guess, for somebody coming in here.
Awesome. We're getting spam. That's awesome.
Wow, mac and cheese.
Franks and beans.
I did watch something. I actually months ago I requested the days off because I was really interested in seeing the comeback of Mike Tyson. And I had listened to him talking about his preparation for his boxing match he had against Roy Jones Jr. this past weekend for a few months on Joe Rogan and a couple other podcasts. And I was really excited to watch it. So I had a couple of my buddies over, and we got the pay-per-view, which was the fight card was actually fairly long, about 4 or 5 fights, and it was awesome. Like, it was such a fucking weird experience watching that pay-per-view, because there was nobody in the stands other than in the crowd. It was just the ring and a few different fights. There's no crowd. And it was definitely run on a shoestring budget because they had like the shittiest performances and everybody was just smoking weed like the entire pay-per-view. Like mac and cheese. What? This is kind of an honor being spammed.
It didn't pull up on mine yet, so
I didn't.
but it was just so weird to watch. There's some really odd boxing matches, including
I Swallow Seaman.
Sorry, we're just watching the.
Wow,
Man, we got a bunch of them now.
Wow, Pimple Popper. Wow.
Yeah.
nice.
Thanks, guys.
It was such a weird fight card because you had is it Jake Paul or Logan Paul? Some YouTube.
That was the one that got more hype though because he actually knocked the dude out.
Dude, he fucking killed him. It was a disaster of a fight. And then the main event, which was Tyson and Roy Jones Jr.
Roy Jones.
Which was amazing. Granted
Roy Jones is now a senior, isn't he?
Yeah, seriously.
So
51. Well, Tyson is 54. So they went 8 rounds and they did 2-minute rounds, not 3-minute rounds.
Right.
They went 8 rounds, but dude, it was like incredible to watch Mike Tyson at 54 years old. Like he didn't slow down for 1 second. He never looked tired. And he was just
he looked in pretty good
pounding.
shape. I didn't watch the fight, but I saw. But
so he lost 100 pounds, Jack.
Really?
He was not huge. I mean, yeah, he was huge. He was 302 pounds.
He looked pretty chiseled.
Yeah, it's incredible.
It's amazing though.
It was amazing to watch that
He didn't
fight.
look as scary as he used to.
Yeah.
No.
Well, because I was talking to my buddy, like he used to do that thing where he put his gloves up, and when he was fighting, he would literally chew on his glove, and that was one of his aggressive persona in the ring. Whatever, he'd sit there and just gnaw on the glove to the point where it was shit would fly out of it. But he was so quick for a 54-year-old dude. The guy was like lightning fast. It was incredible to watch.
He lost it quick though. I mean, because when he lost to Buster Douglas, I think that was the pretty much end of his career as far as, and of course,
Yeah, that's because his manager had died.
Yeah.
And
but his manager died before he became a heavyweight, though. So, Cuz D'Amato, he died in '85, which was actually
like a father figure to him, right?
And that was before he actually won any titles.
I know when he was fighting Michael Spinks, that was the one that lasted like a minute.
Yeah.
Because we were in an apartment, I ran down to the soda machine, get a bunch of sodas, came back up, and everyone went, it's over. I go, it's over. What the fuck?
We're waiting for Tyson Holyfield 3 now. That's what we want.
Holyfield only has 2 ears.
He only has 1 ear, so he's waiting.
They're going to do a Tyson. They're definitely going to do a Tyson Jones Jr. 2.
Well, I know George Foreman talked about coming back.
Oh God!
Well, he did come back.
I know, but he talked about it again. I go, he's got to be.
He's way too old. He's in his
right?
60s. Yeah, he can't. Yeah.
I give him credit when he came back the last time. I mean, he was
he was in his 40s. Yeah.
Unfortunately,
I think he still is the oldest heavyweight champion of all time.
So
he shouldn't have retired when he did.
No.
As great as these fights were to watch, the best part of the fight was the fact that Snoop Dogg was the commentator of the match or the bout. Fucking incredible! Like I never want to watch another sporting event again unless Snoop Dogg is the commentator for the sport I'm watching. He was amazing.
I think there should always at every sporting event be one serious professional announcer and one who has no fucking clue what they're talking about. It's like in dog show.
They don't do that?
Huh? Yes, Best in Show. Yeah, when it's like in Best in Show, and he's over going like, "Hey, let me ask you something. How much do you think I bench? Give me a ballpark."
That's one of my favorites.
Well, that was in dodgeball, right? Yeah,
that same thing. Yeah, it's like
the Ocho.
Or the Padres baseball too. I mean, it's Don Orsillo.
I thought you liked Don.
I love him. And I love this. I'm just saying, Don Orsillo is the comic of every.
Well, he's teamed with Mark Grant, who's also. I mean, they're great together. I mean, it's probably one of the best commentators I've ever listened to because they make it interesting. The game's a blowout. They make it interesting.
I think before he died, that Will Ferrell should have gotten to do a Cubs game with Harry Carey.
Oh my God!
Will Ferrell died?
No,
that's what I was thinking. Breaking news.
You put the emphasis in the wrong syllable there. But
I did.
I go, wait.
Wrong order.
Really want to blow up.
Strike that, reverse it.
2020 sucks.
There goes Anchorman 3.
Yeah.
Bastards.
Stay classy, San Diego.
Oh, well,
Yeah, that would have been a way to erupt the internet. So
go tweet that right now, Nick. Rest in
Yeah.
peace, Will Ferrell.
hashtag mac and cheese.
Mac and cheese.
We love you, mac and cheese.
Fuck you, mac
No.
and cheese. Don't ever come back.
Matt's getting a cramp in his finger.
It really
Yeah,
is.
yeah. I've gone like 8 rounds with Evander Holyfield here. So
I remember watching that boxing when he bit his ear off, going like, "What the
So
hell's going
crazy.
on?" You know?
And to
Boxing-
this day, nobody knows. There's no video evidence of whether or not he spit it out or if he swallowed it.
Right.
Mhm.
My
Interesting.
money is he swallowed that fucker.
I think he swallowed it.
Wow.
Boxing used to be really a great sport to watch, but I can't remember the last time I sat down and watched a fight.
And it's so romantic
Me
too.
neither.
It's a great place to take a date on a Friday night, you know.
I'll
Hey,
say,
you
I
need that
haven't watched.
You
I
guys
haven't
beat
watched
the
a
crap out of
boxing
each other.
match in ages. But watching this weekend's pay per view was so much fun.
I mean, you had Muhammad Ali back in the day, Sugar Ray
Right,
Leonard.
well-
It was when boxing was.
It was.
I
it
used, to
was
like,
about,
I used to like Olympic boxing. That was always fun.
well, it was about pride, and it was about making something out of yourself. But nowadays, the purse is so big, it's like it needs to be almost like a 70-30 cut, where it's like, dude, you need to win this, because it's like.
Mhm.
Because nowadays it's like, oh, you're both getting paid, $7 million to fight. You're like, oh, all right, cool. I'm getting it no matter what.
Or you just Rocky, you fight for pride.
Well,
right?
yeah, but it
You
used
fought
to be back.
Drago for pride.
But
Just,
It's
You look
like
back at
every marriage.
Muhammad Ali and all the 60s and 70s, like they would fight 2 to 3 times a year. Whereas now it's like you're heavyweight champion of the world, you might maybe fight once a year.
It's just
Well,
like
it's just-
marriage.
but did you see Muhammad? Did you see Muhammad Ali at the end of his life?
Yeah.
He should
Just
say
like-
he retired.
That's because well he should have retired after Ali Frazier. Ali Frazier 3. And that was it. He should have stopped right.
But no, he never came back and fought Holmes, and
Yeah.
Larry Holmes was like, "Man, I don't want to beat the crap out of you, but
He beat
I
an
can
old
beat
man.
the crap out of you." Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like
I mean,
beating
even-
up Matt.
There is a documentary that it's all about I forget what it was, but they were talking about that, how like in the Ali Frazier 3 fight that, like even then he was showing signs that, he shouldn't have been there because of the Frazier fight. He just took so many blows to the head that.
Well, he do that rope-a-dope where he just let the guy get worn out as he's getting the crap beat out of him.
Yeah.
Looks like John, the UPS guy, met Pat Morita. I was going to say Matt.
Was he
Parita.
drunk?
I was, yeah.
No,
In
no,
Hawaii, of all places.
I know
So-
Pat Morita had a drinking problem, so I'm just wondering if he
Oh.
was drunk.
Why you got to go for the lowest part of a person?
Yeah.
It's something a wanker would do.
Drink on, drink off. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. If you met the guy, he was probably drunk, right?
Wow.
At a sporting event.
I mean, if you met Matthew Shepard, would you just walk up to him and ask him about that? Like, hey, you get drunk and hit anybody lately?
Matthew
From
Shepard.
Lost. From
Matthew
Lost.
Fox.
Matthew Fox, sorry, whatever his name is. I don't care.
Jack Shepard.
Jack Shepard. I combined the two
Yeah,
names.
I'm like, where the fuck are you going with
I was
this, dude?
confused.
Jack Shepard, yeah.
We were all right there with you.
Meanwhile, we lost a listener named Matt Shepard. He's pissed. And, he's never going to listen to us ever again.
But
Fuck that. I was going to be $1,000 a month.
We're just a fucking
patron.
tell anybody, Nick.
you don't understand. Matthew Shepard appeared with Carl Weathers in Empire Strikes Back.
You mean Billy D? Yeah, in Empire Strikes
It was
Back.
the crossover event, dude.
Crossover. So
John says no. He was the nicest guy in the world and gave it. So I apologize, Pat.
Oh,
if you're
look at you.
if you're listening, Pat.
R.I.P. He's like a ghost David Prowse now. So
You guys can't see the facial expressions that Jack just did in the show. For those listening at home, wow.
I kid. I love Arnold from Happy Days. He was great.
Yeah, Arnold was good. So he definitely was good.
Oh, so it was in 1986. He mentioned it goes. So when they saw them, he was like, "Oh, there's Arnold."
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's awesome. You would have seen him like right at the Karate Kid hype too. Like
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's right when Karate Kid 2
years.
came out. Yeah.
I mean, it's like
Yeah.
More popular than Coke in the 70s, you know?
What kind of Coke?
Karate in the 80s. So
Yeah, there's no way it was more popular. Coke was more popular than the Karate Kid.
yeah, I don't know. What is more popular than the Coke in the 70s?
From what I've heard,
Yeah.
I just grew up in the 70s. I didn't participate.
Whatever, Jack. You don't remember.
I-
If you remember the 70s, you weren't there, man.
I've never done Coke. Never.
Is there really a Matt Shepard that was murdered for a
I have
hate
no
crime
idea.
in Montana? Because I feel like both Matt Treist and
Google
Randy
time!
are like telling us something, and maybe this name
Laramie.
just popped into your mind.
Laramie.
Sorry,
I mean, he says Laramie's in Wyoming, though, and so and I don't know.
Wasn't that from the West Wing?
Hmm. You're asking some non-West Wing guys here, so
Because there was a West Wing, an episode
yeah,
with West
dude,
Wing where the
totally.
guy was beaten to death.
Hmm.
Yeah. Well, we'll move past this story.
Okay, yeah, let's do that. That sounds good. So
I bring back mac and cheese. That's
Yeah.
a little more uplifting.
he had some really useful information about some, I don't know,
Address.
the address. He's
Yeah,
going to
your
release
address.
it, and the terrorists are going to win, and we've all so.
Yeah, that was the episode. It must be real life because it was also the episode of.
Oh well, this just turned really dark. So he was murdered for being gay.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
trying to move past it.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was- way to bring us down there, Nick.
And I gave producer Matt. I gave you the opportunity to move past the fucking
you
story,
had to read it,
but then you just brought it up.
I don't know. I read everything.
It's like
that's in the chat.
there's a shiny object over there for Matt. Ah! Wanker.
I remember this too. That was terrible.
I apologize.
I remember it in real life, and I
remember.
rember the episode of West Wing. So
If anybody wants to know, I had a good Thanksgiving.
Oh yeah, we forget. Yeah,
Yeah, nobody really gives a shit what I said. So it's
I
fine.
had-
I don't need to.
you guys had tofu turkey or
Okay.
something like that.
No,
veggie
we had
turkey.
tofu. We actually had a vegetarian Wellington that my wife makes with it's like a certain nut mushroom medley with some cranberries and some phyllo dough around it. It's pretty good. So, watched a lot of holiday movies. It seems to be like we would.
right.
Watch,
You mean like Christmas movies? Because there's not that
We
many
were-
Thanksgiving movies.
well,
other,
yeah,
other
you're
than
right.
Trains, Planes, and Automobiles.
No, we didn't watch that, but no, we were just watching Christmas movies and what have you. So, Mimi and St.
Grilled
Louis.
Dolphin, yeah, that's a good one.
What?
Which one?
No.
Grilled Dolphin, Randy makes a point. That's a good, you have it. And you probably had enough wood. You probably had enough wood to grill it on from the tree you cut down.
You had
No,
plenty
we
of
didn't
wood.
have
You had
grilled-
plenty
we
of
did
wood
not
for
have
that dolphin.
No.
And lots of wood and gravy. Yeah.
Has anybody seen the movie though? Meet Me in St. Louis. Have you guys seen
Never
that
even
movie?
heard of that movie.
I think I've
You've never
seen
heard of that
I've
movie?
heard-
No.
An
It's
old
got
one,
Judy
isn't it?
Garland.
Oh yeah. She was
Yeah.
high on the rainbow or something like that.
No, it's not Wizard of Oz, but
No,
I think that's the only film I've ever seen her in. Actually, is Wizard of Oz.
is Wizard of Oz. Anyway, Meet Me in St. Louis. It's
She
a
had a rough
nice
life.
musical because it takes place between 4 different seasons, and kind of the high point of the movie is takes place at Christmas time. So it's similar to It's a Wonderful Life, where the whole movie doesn't really take place at Christmas time. It takes place-
Dorothy!
but the main part kind of culminates in that season. So
Toto!
I like it. It's a fun movie that my wife.
Merry Christmas, Ramblecast!
I'm hanging on every word there.
Sure. There's some really funny, weird things though that happen in that movie. So
There's dead people buried next door, right?
like how they celebrate Halloween in the 1900s, early 1900s is kind of weird. They
Mhm.
threw flour in people's faces, and they took furniture, and the kids made bonfires with old furniture. It's really kind of strange.
When they
So.
just took stuff for
Well,
granted.
it was a depression, right? So they're lucky they had food.
Matt in the comments here, the chat says, "I know that's where Have Yourself a Little Merry Christmas is from." And yeah, you're right. That is the titular song. So no, it's not a titular
Have
song.
yourself a...
Mimi
I
in
had-
St. Louis would be the titular song, which they also sing too. So
I
and the
did-
song. No, I'm not done fucking talking about my musical movie, man. This is my moment. This is my holiday movie.
He's the
Go ahead.
producer, damn it.
Go ahead and kill the show. It's fine.
You know the song. You know the song "Clang Clang Clang" with the trolley.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's in that movie too.
Oh, okay.
So-
Oh, okay.
Okay, go ahead.
Who
Jack.
else? Who else is in the movie besides Judy Garland?
Other people that I don't know.
Come
off
on,
the
there's
top
got to
of
be
my-
someone else famous in the movie besides Judy Garland.
Okay,
All
I'll
I
look
know
it
is
up.
that at least one word of the episode title has to be titular.
I'd like it.
The titular wanker.
Titular mac and cheese. Margaret O'Brien, Mary Astor, Lucille
Margaret O'Brien.
Bremer, Leon Ames, Tom Drake, Marjorie Main,
Okay, you lost.
Harry Davenport, June Lockhart is in it.
Oh, June Lockhart from Lost in Space and Lassie,
Yep, she.
and her daughter was in the original Battlestar Galactica.
That's about it. So it's a good movie. If you haven't seen it, you know it's worth checking
Timmy!
out at
Why
the
are you
holidays. So I think it's fun.
Timmy's in a well dying. Go save him, Lassie.
It's a bit odd because it starts off with them making ketchup. Didn't you have something else to say before we end the show, Jack?
I just want to say my Thanksgiving. I had we had family over. The grandkids were all here, which is always great to have all the grandkids. I hate the drinking, but my Alex, Jay's and Colleen's son, he's always giving me shit about my garage. So we cleaned the garage and then we set up.
How does a 3-year-old give you shit about your garage?
Yeah,
I don't know. Has he seen his parents' garage? I don't know why he's bitching about mine. So anyway, he's always saying it's a mess because one time he walked in, he goes, "This is a mess." I go, well, just stop and before I smack you. And so this time I cleaned the garage. We set up. We have like a train roller coaster. We have an electric train on a track. All this stuff they could play in because it was cold outside. Because Papa, you have too much stuff in here. I go, but it's the stuff you're playing with. So I'm arguing with him about the garage. I go, well, do you want me to throw the stuff away? He goes, no, you have too much stuff in here. You need to clean this up. I go, I did clean the garage.
You know that's because Jay talks trash about your garage when he's at home all the time. So he's just repeating what his dad says.
Well, have you ever seen their garage? You've been to the house, right?
I mean, of the two, between Jack and Jay, who is the more of a hoarder? You know.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. You can't even get through Jay's garage.
It's true.
There's a reason why their cars are parked on the outside. So that kid, I
actually didn't even realize he had a garage. Until right
He's
now.
got 3.
The garage stood there.
He's got a 3-car garage. He has 3 garages.
They got a big house. Like how do you have that big of a house and still need to park your cars outside of the garage?
So, but my point is that kid should be backing off. I'm the grandpa.
Because a tree could easily fall on it.
That's
if
true.
You're parked in front of it.
So true. That's a great.
They have
point, Chris.
trees. They have trees everywhere.
Yeah, you don't want to park in the garage because the tree can fall through the garage
That'd be just
onto the car. Yeah, so you need to park it. You need to park it on.
No idea.
You need to park it on another street next to your neighbor.
Yeah.
Next to Bob's
Oh, sorry. I was
He's over there making up his name.
Yes, we've been talking
right.
about you
I'm
for the last
actually,
3 minutes.
trying to figure out what to name these people because I'm that far behind on my.
I gotta name him Mary.
Merry Christmas, Mary.
Oh, that's a good one for Maggie. Merry Christmas, Maggie.
Oh, it was
Maggie
directed by
Christmas.
Vincent Maselli, Liza's dad.
Huh.
Yeah.
Oh.
It is one of those weird things about you. You said that she had a sad life because I mean, it's Wizard of Oz is what started her down the path because they put her on.
She was too heavy.
Yeah, and they put her on amphetamines.
Yeah,
and she got addicted.
She was sexually, abused and all that stuff. I mean, She died, I think, penniless. If she didn't have a lot of money when she died. Very talented singer.
Well, if you enjoyed this show and what we did on here, because we're so talented,
yeah, this hour flew by,
and I said, it's rated better than the Star Wars Holiday Special. So you tune in every week to us, and you're gonna get something solid. Unlike that pile of shit. I mean, that big. It was $1 million budget for that show. We don't.
Back then, that's a lot of money.
I know, right? If you enjoy this show, please rate and review us over on iTunes. We would appreciate it. Send us an email.
Like 3 years. So
at rcadcast@gmail.com. Send us something to talk about. We appreciate it. We're hatching out some versus ideas for some holiday stuff. So if you have any ideas, please.
I thought we were going to do that today.
We ran out of time. Did you prepare for this? I don't think Chris prepared for this. Chris, did you prepare?
I
didn't know we decided.
We didn't prepare. So next week we'll do that.
I took like 3 hours studying up on this. But
clearly you took more time than I did to do these names. If you want to help us out, you can become a patron. Go over to jayandjack.com. Click on the patron link. A couple patrons make this show possible. Like to thank them at this time. I'm sorry, guys. These names. Tune into Owen and Baruz. We got better names over there. Today we have DB Tack, because we talked about.
DB.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
DB
does he smoke?
DB
what was that one?
I just was adding DB in front of their names.
Yep.
Ed, the designated survivor. How about Eckhart Alone? Yeah, because we talked about that show Alone. $1 Million Maggie.
What are you trying to say about Eckhart?
I don't know. I wasn't trying to say anything about him. Just that we were watching
He's
that.
a loner?
He could survive in the aloneness if he wanted to. I got to wrap this show up before we have to throw in another commercial break. $1 Million Maggie, Joanne Ringo. You know, like Johnny Ringo?
I got you. Yeah, you're really struggling with this episode.
I am. That's why
it's better than last week.
Then I'm going to rely on a good old standard here. Sorry, Greg, but Grogu Greg.
The gravy.
Grogu Greg. It's so much better.
What is it?
Ragu.
Grogu Greg. See? Well, you got a better one, Chris. You're rubbing your eyes.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Get me out there, Greg. I know there was 1 in a million. Join us in the Patreon where we have a bonus hour of Chris, Nick. No, Chris won't be there, but Nick, Jack, and I will be talking about something. Who knows what? Thanks for joining us live in the chat. We appreciate it. And tune in for the bonus hour.
See you, mac and cheese.